So, as you've been seeing in the news, Marvel / Disney and Sony have fought over the movie rights of Spider-Man. They broke up after it was asked by Marvel to have a 50-50 split of 50-50 of the amount of money put in for the movies that Marvel was making for Sony. Not just handing over the, some people were saying just handing over, the director. No, they're doing all the work, most of it. If not all the work. And then Sony and Disney / Marvel would split the profits 50-50. This was turned down by good old Sony. Then recently it just came out that they have come to a new deal. 25% of the money would be put up by Marvel, and 25% of the profits would be shared back to Sony. Or 25%, excuse me, 25% of the profits would go to Marvel. I'm messing that up. So Marvel will put in a quarter of the money, do most of the work, if not all of it, and get 25% of the profits. But then they also get the toy rights. They own all the other rights. See, Sony just owns the movie rights to Spider-Man. Here is my problem with this, or not my problem, is just where I come back to. I've already made a video about this, and I support Marvel. I hate to say Marvel Disney because I don't support the Disney super conglomerate, super big fucking monopoly bullshit that our government is allowed to just come into existence. No, I don't support Disney being that large at all. It's too fucking big. But I do support Marvel. Sony came through and bought out the Spider-Man movie rights back when Marvel was going out of business, pretty much in bankruptcy. They were pretty much circling the shitter. I got a cat down here wanting my attention, but they were circling the shitter. They were having problems. Maybe not circling the shitter completely, but they were having problems, and Sony swooped in and took the rights. That it does not give them just blanket okay from me and a lot of people that don't support them. Just like, well, it's Sony. You need to back Sony. Look, they may own the rights, but since Spider-Man 2, they have not made a live action. We're not talking about the Spider-Verse or other type of things like games or animation. They have not made a live action Spider-Man movie that's been worth a shit. Go look up Rotten Tomatoes if you don't believe me. Yes, they made money. They made most of their money overseas, not in the U.S. And Spider-Man 3 was horrible, 60-something% or 60s or something like that in the Rotten Tomatoes. Amazing Spider-Man was in the 70s, low 70s, and then Amazing Spider-Man 2 is like in the 50s or 60s or 50s. And then Venom was in the 20s or 30s. Sony cannot make a live-action Spider-Man movie. Period. Those are facts. That's why I don't support them. I don't hate on Sony to hate on Sony. Sony has done great with the PlayStation. They've done great with Spider-Man in the games. I didn't quite like the newest game. It played too much like the Arkham games, and I just kind of gave it away to a friend. It still is a fantastic game. The Spider-Verse, again, an animated movie, people point out, oh, that's good, look there. Okay, then why can't they take that to the big screen with live action? I don't know why they can't, but Sony can't do it. Period. So Sony wanted to stand around and with that old way of doing things, let Marvel do all the work, if not most of the work. Not just the director, they're doing the casting, they're doing all this stuff. And to make Spider-Man great again on the big screen. Now, some people I've heard didn't really like how they wrapped him up with the with Robert Downey Jr. and everything and the Iron Spider. I get that. But, yeah, there's a cat. Whoops, over here. I cannot do this. There is one of my cats. Yeah, he's being the crazy thing. Okay, you do not like how exactly what they were doing with the Spider-Man, but he became relevant again and actually could go interact with the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I mean, I don't agree with the Disney super conglomerate, super monopolistic, big whatever. I don't agree with that, but Spider-Man in the Marvel Cinematic Universe is great. And now they're coming back because Sony knows they're being made fun of. Hell, Kevin Smith of Jay and Silent Bob just before this announcement was like, here it's going to suck Spider-Man 3 without Marvel, and here's why. Everybody's making fun of them, making fun of this whole thing because it was shit. Well, I support Sony. Okay, I agree with you. I agree. I will support you. I don't agree with you. I support that. Everybody has their opinions. But just because they own the rights does not mean this. It's not even a valid argument to me, at all. They own the rights. Lottie fucking da. They own the rights. I don't care. They don't know how to use these rights. Period. 15 years. They cannot make a live action Spider-Man movie good. Then Marvel comes along and shows them how to do it. Does pretty much all the work. Gets little profit. And they say, okay, we need to split this 50-50. No. Sony, we're going to run off. Oh, fuck you. Everybody's like, yay, Sony, stick it to the big guy. Why? Give me reasons. Tell me why you think Sony deserves this. They don't. 25% is still not enough to me. But hey, Marvel is willing to make money and to make sure Spider-Man does well. I was talking to my buddies on text. We always do a lot of texting, and we've been talking for a long time. Like I say, another buddy I was talking to was Geeks for Cash, Nick Whaley. You know, go give him a subscription and check out his content as well. But he had heard that, you know, possibly Sony had pulled back. Looks down at my cat to lick. Oh, cats. But Sony had pulled back what they were wanting to do due to possibly Spider-Man being under, you know, Captain Marvel, and it be more of a girl power thing. And he'd heard this, and people read this. I don't know if that's true or not. And if Sony did that and pulled it away, like, no, you're not going to play down Spider-Man, I would support Sony. Yeah, you heard me right. I can support Sony in that. Marvel, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do something based on girl power or any pressures. Just make all the characters, men, women, gay, lesbian, transgender, I don't care what it is, make the characters like they're supposed to be in the comics. Just make them great and just make things entertaining. I don't care. But even he was, you know, my buddy was like, I think it's money. I don't think Sony wants to give up any more money than they have to because we own the rights. You own the rights, but you can't make a damn Spider-Man live action movie to save your life. And Marvel is saving your ass. So that's my opinion. You don't have to agree with it. Yeah. I think Sony's finally pulled their head out of their ass. They're made fun of far too much. And now we're going to get a Spider-Man back in the MCU. I'm happy. I do think Sony needs to get their head out of their ass and give Marvel even more money and stop pulling this bullshit, because they're just making themselves look stupid. Tell me what you think in the comments below, and I appreciate everybody subscribing, and just let me know what you think. All right, everybody. PKO Gamer, out.